Times that you can. Because a lot of times you really don't see yourself going 100%.
And I know you're an artist yourself, so I mean, this is better fit for you in that sort of realm. I really love this, but what does that actually look like?
But have you made any visuals to go with those recordings? Have you done anything that you could really have done with that time and made more out of it? Have you recorded the session? Hey, what's up? This Kennedy here with my pops.
Pops or Booch, however you want to call me. Man. So, what's our first topic that we're going to be talking about today?
Our first topic we are talking about is life of a serious artist. And what we're going to be diving into on our first point today is what does it mean to be 100% in, 100% effort in your craft as an artist. And surprisingly, a lot of artists are having a hard time finding like what does it even mean? Like how do you even show 100% when you think you are doing 100% to yourself? And someone that you brought up earlier in conversation was Russell Westbrook and how he gives 100% effort.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, just with him being an athlete playing basketball, there's one thing that you can't deny. Whether it's good or bad, as far as him, making a mistake, missing shots or whatever, but he doesn't cheat the game.
Right.
He gives you 100% effort all the time.
Right.
You can look at other players and yeah, they're doing their part. You don't know if they're giving 100%, but you believe. I mean, they're in the NBA. That's what they're doing. But with Russell Westbrook, you can actually see him giving 100% effort. And I think that's something that, as far as artists, is something that you really need in this game. And I know with you being an artist, and then me on the producer side, and
right.
And everything. So, why don't you talk to us a little bit about giving 100% effort on the artist side?
Yeah, as an artist, giving 100% in my eyes is almost get to the point where like you really don't want to do it. Like you have that thing in you where you're like, I'm tired, I need to eat, I need to do this, and you're like, I can't go anymore. And you hit that point where you're like, but I have to, I need to. And when I first got to St. Louis and I was working with Josh Van Horby, shout out Josh, I was trying to really find myself into the artist world and really show like, from Springfield, where do I belong? Where do I stand here? Like where do I go? And Josh and I were creating a sound that, I'm really grateful for. And shout out Joey. And we were just really trying to go hard. But I remember times like every night after work getting off at 10, I would go over there and try to stay till 1 or 2. And I worked the next day. And I knew that I was going to go back to the studio the same day and put up in like 6-7 hours in there and to keep doing the same thing. And when working hard like that, it's one of those things where it's like you get to this motion and pattern, like you're like, I don't know, you just get that point where you're like, I need to be at a maximum level of production, creating, being in that environment to show that I really do stand where I stand.
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel you with that. I remember back when you were younger, and I was really pursuing after the music industry, and every weekend I was going out of town in order to record.
We usually say we're lost, but never say we want to be found. Disguises are a way of protecting ourselves. What if that's the real me? What if isolation creates the best creation? More notoriety, deeper sobriety. My greatest light was in the dark. My greatest darkness was from the light. When will the sun touch the horizon and the moon touch the sea? Who is Floyd? What is Floyd? Just what side are you gonna see?
So as a producer, I think the thing that I noticed was definitely being here in town, doing all the mix downs and everything. It was tedious work, but I was committed to that every day. So every day after work and everything, that's what I was doing. That was like the fun part about it, but you wanted to make it so bad.
Right.
You had those songs done. You want to make sure that it sounded good in the car, that it sounded good in the home stereo system. You know, so you're doing all these checks and everything, but that was my version of a Russell Westbrook.
Right.
You know, I was doing everything. You know, so we did the recording, did the mixing, and then after that, you know, we sent it off to get it mastered. You know, so that was everything that I did, and I think as an artist and as you know, and also as a producer, you have to make sure that you involved in the entire project.
Right.
You know, if you're just an artist, you just can't, you know, sing and do your rhymes and all that. You sort of have to make sure that you're overseeing the whole project to make sure that you're getting the sound that you want to get out of this.
Right. And that's a great point, because a lot of times just paying your way to have someone else do it, you lose yourself in the project because you don't really know the direction of what your art is doing. And a lot of times it's easier to do it that way because a lot of us don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's one, everybody makes music. Two, it's hard to find someone who's really going to do it for a reasonable price that you can afford while working a 9 to 5 or doing whatever you're doing to make ends meet. And you're trying to understand, like, what is going on? Like, how do I get this music here? How do I make this appointment? Or how do I make this studio time? So a lot of that comes down to really putting forth the effort of understanding what do you have to do to be alone with the project. Because when you got to be alone with the project, sometimes your 100% effort may be you being there for 2 days, having to sit out the third day because you got something personal going on, and making sure you get back involved with whatever you're doing on the mixing side, making sure you put your effort there.
Right.
So it's like, a lot of times it's not just put 100% in, just mass produce for recording. Sometimes it goes in, like you said, it's the mixing. Today we're mixing, and then I go back again. Today we're producing. That's the 100% effort. It's the, sometimes you got to put your different hand in different pots and different skills to produce, mix, and create your own art to push it further than what it has to be.
Right, right. Now, with you being an artist, I want to ask you, how did you go about it with creating your projects, you know, especially the ones that you've done with Josh and everything?
Well, those projects are really, really like an adventure, like a trip. It's like an investigation. All those type of things are just like more inspiring of where are we going next?
Right.
What's the next level? I ask that myself that every year, every time, every situation. I always say, what's the next level? How can I progress myself as a person, as an artist? So Josh and I come together. We really try to make music that is really progressing ourselves to the next level. Trying to be like, what can we do? Like, for example, we went to Tampa just to go to the studio to really experience a different life, a different vision, to travel, and we made Tampa 10, which is a straight 10 songs made in 2 hours of all freestyles, just to be able to put together something because we were in the moment. Floyd is a combination of time where I took a long break of just all impure things, just smoking, listen to certain music, just eating a certain type of way. And it was a period of time where it was just like, my mind was just clear. And it's open for growth. And we went through a lot of period of time where it was just you got to come here almost every other night. This is the prime opportunity where inspiration is coming from. So it's like you got to put in those times, even when you're tired, even though you don't want to be there, where you really think we really only got a month or 2 months of time because we're going to be busy in these next 2 months because that's how life happens. So it's like we got to maximize every moment that we can whenever you can.
Right.
So that's why I said it's those times when you're hungry, when you need to eat, when you need to sleep, where you're like, man, I need to do this, but you don't understand. You have to put in those moments where you're almost like, I'm almost determined to sleep here because I need to put in this moment at this time because there's no other moment of time I can get back. So that's what you got to do sometimes, and that's what I understand.
One thing that I really loved was when we went up to Chicago. We went to go see Kato on the track. Shout out Kato. And basically he was doing sound advice.
Yeah.
Had a whole bunch of artists and everything meet up at the a studio there up in Chicago.
Right.
Everybody got their little chance in order to go over their project and everything. He sort of just listened and gave you little feedback and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool because what that showed me was you were willing to spend this money. We traveled all the way up to Chicago, meeting all these new people. And then just what you're just speaking on with you going all the way down to Tampa and everything. This is what the producer, Josh, that you met all the way up in Chicago, who happened to come all the way from St. Louis.
Right.
So I think it takes stuff like that for people to want to go out wherever it takes, no matter how far, you go into that city in order to be around the music scene, in order to be around those people that can help you get to the next level.
Right.